Hello, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's week is off to a great start. And as for me, I feel all right. Let's take this beef stew, the beefy onion and rice, and make some beef tips with gravy and rice. I'll be right back to get it started. Okay, so the first thing I have done is put on my rice so that it can start cooking. I used 2 cups of water and 1 cup of long grain rice. I'll be back to show you how that's cooking. Now let's season this meat and get it in the crock pot. Okay, you all, I'm back, and the next thing we're going to do is season this meat. I'm only going to season it with pepper, salt, and onion powder so that it can bring out its natural flavors. And not only that, I'm going to be putting the beefy onion soup in the crock pot with this as well. Okay, and we're just going to stir this up and make sure that everything is coated. And you can add whatever kind of seasonings to yours that you like. You can also cook this in a pot on the stove if you don't have a crock pot. And I'm going to cook this in 2 small crock pots today because I want this to be done today. I'm thinking maybe it'll take about 2 hours. So I'll be right back when I get these in the crock pot. Okay, I'm back, and I have my 2 little crock pots on high. I have a 1/2 cup of water that I'm going to split between the 2 of the crock pots. Now I'm going to take this Lipton recipe soup, and I'm going to kind of eyeball how much to decide if I'm going to use 1 or 2 packs. So for this first one, I'm going to start off with like maybe 1/2 of the pack. Okay, let me stir this around a little bit and see what it's looking like. And this will help me to decide if I'm going to use 1 pack per crock pot. Okay, let's see if I can get you down in here to see this. And I'm only using a little bit of water because it's gonna make its own juice as it's cooking, and then I'll come back later and show you all how I put the cornstarch in to make the gravy. Okay, I think that's good for this first crock pot. Okay, so I'm just going to, let's see, put the lid on this one. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the next crock pot. I'm going to use the rest of that pack. Let me see, I'm trying to make sure you all can see this. Slide this. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I'm going to stir this around like I did the other crock pot. And then I'm going to put the lid on this, and I'm going to let this cook. I'm thinking it's going to take 2 hours because these are smaller crock pots, but I'll keep you posted as we go. And I'll be back to show you all when it's time how I put the cornstarch in to thicken up the gravy. Okay, I'll see you when it's time to put the cornstarch in. As you can see, the rice is cooking nicely, and it'll be done shortly. Now, it's going to be done before the beef tips, but and it may have cooled down, and I don't know what you all do, but what I do is I leave the rice on the stove so that it stays, so that it will stay room temperature. And then when I go in to put these beef tips on there with the gravy, then that's going to make the rice hot all over again. Okay, I'll see you all when it's time for me to put the cornstarch in the roast beef. Okay, you all, I'm back. It's 2 hours later. I have this teaspoon of cornstarch. I'm just going to stick it in here and stir it up until I see that most of the flour has broken up. And you all, I'm going to let this cook for another 30 minutes, and I'll be back to show you all what the finished product looks like. Okay, so this is what it's looking like now that it's done. I'm about to fix a plate, and I'll be back to show you what it's looking like. And you all, this is nice and tender. Okay, you all, so this is my finished plate. Roast beef tips and gravy over rice. I hope you all have a most wonderful meal and have a most wonderful rest of the week. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And go make yourself some beef stew tips.